welcome to Alpha Morning Show. My name is Soro David, your host, and of course, our viewers of Alpha Morning. We are trying to look at something very, very vital. It looks simple, but not really quite. As we here in the studio, we are trying to look at ethics. And this is the topic we're discussing today, and you'll be able to be with us, joining us in this topic wherever you are across the country, and you'll be able to be following us and having actually looking at experts who will be able to discuss this topic, looking at one of whom is none other than Oyet Patrick with me in the studio today. Nice having you on board in this topic. I think is going to be very important for us to discuss about it. And also at the same time having Justice Ajonye with me, who is not actually rare, but she is always with us here joining this topic. Nice having you on board with me in this program today.
Thank you.
Oyet Patrick,
Thank you.
what would you have to tell us, and as far as ethics is concerned? Because many people would be defining it in a different way across the country and looking at it. Because when you talk about ethics, there are these wrongs and the rights, and looking at actually in the society, it happens. People mess up, and looking at this. What do you have to say?
Yeah, actually ethics is a big thing, and it's a debate that also even scholars debate what it is. But basically, in simple way, it is what every profession or a group of people are guided by on what they should do and what they should not do. Yeah, for example, if you talk about the media where I work, journalists have ethics that they have to follow. There are things that you should not do. For example, don't take money from your source. If you are doing interview with somebody and you take money so that you write the story in a certain way, so that becomes unethical. So you have to follow that. Another thing is that don't, for example, when you are telling a story, don't be one-sided. That means you have to hear the other side also. Even if I come and accuse Soro that Soro has done this, give Soro also opportunity to reply to what has been said about him. So also do not do harm. Don't say something against somebody that can cause harm, or don't do a story that can cause harm to a society. Very many things that you should not do, and also many things that you should do. You should balance the story. You should be fair, and so forth and so forth. So all those are part of ethics, and every profession actually has ethics that they are supposed to follow. Whether they are lawyers, doctors, they have ethics that they are supposed to really follow. So there are rules that you should follow when you are in a certain profession. Now, it is also important to say that these rules, you may not be punished if you violate them. You may not be punished, but it really lowers your reputation. Yes, because, for example, if I'm a journalist and I go and take money from somebody, my management may not know. I go to do the story alone, and they will not know that I've taken the money. But before that person whom I've taken money from, how do I look? Are you seeing? And other people will know that I take money to do stories.
That is in the general context of you being as a journalist professional.
Yes,
and
yes.
I've also tried to hear from Justice Ajonye being a professional lawyer. What do you have to say, and as far as that is concerned?
Yeah.
You also have ethics, I believe.
Yes, we do.
Sure.
Yes. Thank you very much, and then thank you for hosting us here. And then also, this is a very important topic on ethics, just like what my brother Patrick has mentioned, is when you have a set of rules to guide on things which should not have happened in the society, to guide you as individual and as a society, and things which should be done. And this set of rules can be both formal and informal, because if you have informal, like in the traditions and cultures and the way we do things in the society, sometimes are not written. But then there are others which are, most of them are written, especially the professional ethics. Each profession has an ethics. And like lawyers, he mentioned, you have also professional ethics, medical profession, etc., etc. So different professional bodies have also professional ethics. However, there could be things which are general for them, uniform. Among others could be some values like, for example, being reliable. As a lawyer, people are expecting you to be reliable. And the same for other professions, as journalists, as judges, as medical personnel, you must be reliable. And then there are things like, for instance, you have to have the spirit of respecting others, value of respecting others, regardless who those people are. You need to give them respect. You have values like being compassionate, values of being honest, and values of being committed. When somebody says you're committed, once you're given an assignment or you're doing something, get committed to do it. If it is medical in the hospital, just don't relax because you are dealing with somebody's health. You need to go to the theater, you need to give this, because it is somebody's life. As a judge, a sitting judge, or as a lawyer, you are dealing with somebody's future life, or in the prison, inmates and so on. These are human.
The question comes here is, why is it important to have ethics?
It's very important because it governs discipline itself. It governs discipline. You need to have ethics. And because the values of society, which gives harmony in society and doing the right thing, can only be found in ethics. And ethics, as I said, others are formal and others are informal. For instance, when you have an ethics in the tradition which is not written, for instance, if you find elders, according to our customs and traditions in Africa and also in South Sudan, you respect elders. Now, when you meet in a taxi, for example, you have an old woman and then an old man and then there's a young man, the seats are full. The young man kindly, even regardless which tribe, you just say Mama or Baba, you sit here and you stand because you are still young. So those are things which are not written. And virtue will serve you according to our traditions and customs. And that is ethics itself. And the unwritten ethics, it is so big in terms the way you communicate, you talk to people, how are you kind, and others which are not written. What about the orphans with the extended families we have in South Sudan? You have orphans, you have widows. How do you treat them? It's not a written ethics, but society and virtue will give you reward. How do you treat orphans who don't have, you show them love, and those who don't have parents? So some things are not written, and majority which are not written make up life in a better way. And areas of creativity, being creative, being jolly, you know, smile alone is ethical. And it is both professional, humor is professional. You need to have humor. We know life is difficult, but humor solves a lot of other things. The same, even in unwritten ethics. In your home, if all of you are just, your faces, no smile, gloomy, this is unethical. Traditionally, it's unethical. You are not welcoming. I mean, all this amounts to other things, which are a bit negative.
Patrick, why do you think it's really important? You being a professional journalist and you went through many, and at least you can be able to tell us, looking at the journalism context point of view, what do you have to say?
Yeah, the thing is that, as Justice said, every game, I can say, must have a rule. If there is no rule, then you are basically going to be in a very big mess. So that's why every society has a certain values and even customs that they practice, and every profession has these rules that they should follow to avoid chaos. Otherwise, you will not hold anybody to account for anything if there are no ethics. So it is important, and you see ethics also evolve, they change. But if you see like our societies, how marriages were supposed to be conducted, and so all these are part of ethics. There are things you have to do, and there are things that you are not allowed to do. If you do, you will be looked at in a certain way in the society. So really, it is the backbone of society operating well, ethics, you know. And if ethics are very strong, you are not going to have a lot of problems even with the issue of law.
Yes.
Because people know what they're supposed to, the doctors know exactly what they're supposed to do, the lawyers know what they're supposed to do, and they follow, the journalists and so on. So the society will have really harmony, that things will go very well. And as even at the family level, as Justice said, you know when is the time for joking with your children or family members, and when is the time to be serious, and all these kind of things, and things will really move very, very smooth. Even the way you dress, I'm dressing like this to go where, I'm dressing like this to go where, all these kind of things are really important. Yeah.
Justice, what do you have to say on the traditional context of that, as you did mention?
Yes, I would just say, general, of course, we have traditions and customs which may not be positive, but especially in the norms of eating. For example, traditionally, culturally, according to some traditions, you find that women may not be eating chicken, for example.
Eggs,
and the conditions are, even meat, conditions are put. You can only eat chicken and eggs after you have produced children. So those are some of the negative part of the ethics in today's modern world, and also seeing that tradition deprived that good nutritious food in under cover of ethics for women. However, ethics itself, even if it is formal or informal, once you observe it well, you have minimum challenges with the society. You have very minimum. For example, in our traditions, abuse of vulnerable people is not accepted. All of Africa, especially the orphans, the widows and widowers, you don't go abusing the people with the disabilities. It's unethical. And that is not written. At the same time, in organizations, some of them are written. But it's not, it's there in the traditions. And then lack of hospitality. It is not written, but it is there in the traditions, in the African tradition set up. And being dishonest, liars, you know, ethical, traditional, if you are known, your family is known to be lying, not speaking the truth, it affects the individuals, the children of that home, it affects everyone, it affects even the head of the family. Lying, being dishonest. Theft also, taking bribes. I give you sugar, you give me honey. I cannot give you sugar without you giving me honey. This is a bribe. So all those unethical, and it is traditional, not accepted. And we have positivity in African tradition set up. So these are some of the things we need to embrace. And as far as traditional ethics is concerned.
Patrick, what do you have to say when we look at the moment today, you know, in the modern world, that you know, some norms, there are other things that people no longer follow. When you look at the traditional way of doing things today, as Justice mentioned, things to do with people have access to finance, people have access to many things, and anyone can do anything, forgetting of the past, and people looking at actually people want to follow the tradition, in which today more than people say, no, tradition we cannot follow it, but because now when you look at the Western culture, when you look at many things are happening today.
Yeah, but the thing is that there are some few negative aspects of our traditional or African cultures, but that should not make us generalize that those cultures are bad. And even when you see the very people who are trying now to say we are now modern and then we do not want to follow these ethics or the way we used to do things or the way society wants us to do things, at the end of the day, if you ask yourself, are they happy? You find that most of them are not. Of course, you may, as you said, you may have resources, you may have money, you may have what. But if you do not align with the society, then you will not have peace. You will not be happy, even with all that you have. So therefore, the following of ethics is very, very important. And respecting others, making sure that, especially for us like Africans, keeping that bond of togetherness, because the Western life is that of individual. That even your parents, when it reaches a certain age, you are ready to force them to go to a foster home or whatever. Not foster home, but these nursing homes and so on, where they go and stay there as if they are not important. This we don't have. For us, you take care of the elders. You take care of the elders, and later also when you grow old, your children will take care of you, but not to pick you and take you to a nursing home. You be there and they say you have mental problem and these kind of things. So really it is important to follow those ethics. It also applies to the work that we have, that even though maybe we have gone to school and studied and become something or join some profession, we should not forget where we have come from. That even this, we have to really make sure we mix the professional ethics that we have, which are written or those that are brought from the West, as well as the one that's ours from our traditions. You can imagine a situation where like somebody is sick, and because they say, the hospital says you must pay money before you are treated, you cannot treat the person. And yet, as a doctor or a medical person, your work is to save life. So I am sure, and I've seen some cases where the medical personnel go beyond the issue of the money and treat people even when they don't have the money, and they say the money can be paid later. And that is exactly what we are saying. But if it were somewhere else, maybe you would not be given any treatment. You see, because they say money, and if it is not there, it is not there. So that is a very good mix of looking at the culture that we have to help people, and then also balancing with the current modern ways of doing things. So it's always good to blend, not to really take everything that has come from outside as is the best and ours are all bad. No, we have actually very good ethics in our societies, and that's why those societies were very harmonious.
Yes.
There was a lot of understanding. Somebody would travel from another place, and you can imagine those days, of course, the transport means were like not today, and go to your home, a total stranger, and would be taken care of. They'll be given food, they would sleep, the next day they will be shown where to go. So those are the kind of things we are talking about. So in as much as today people are suspicious that, oh, maybe these are thieves, these are what, you still have to maintain those kinds of the ethics that we used to have.
That is great to have heard from you, Patrick. And I think Justice, in this context, now let us try to look at office ethics, you being professional.
Before office ethics, I just wanted to add something on what Brother Patrick has said. You know, the traditional ethics, some of them are so rich. Today in the traditions, and even today, when you hear, for example, your son-in-law or your father, or your daughter-in-law begins to tell the mother-in-law, can you take care of all the choruses in the house? And she's old, huh? You know, the bond, she's at 80s, at 90s, and she has to do everything because the wife thinks she's working in the office, has no time, you know? This is an ethics which is a negative one. Yeah, because even if you are professional in your professional area, but there's a traditional ethics which Brother Patrick was saying, we need to balance, harmonize the two. What does it say? Now, what is the importance of that old woman in the house? She was important when she was in your age. Very active, she would do all the choruses. Now it is your time. And now that you have another professional ethics in the office, how are you going to harmonize the two? That she lives there so that she gives you history for your children. There's a lot she's going to do at home there. Your children, she gives information, she gives history, things which the current generation did not know. She's the only one to pass it. And she also passes blessings at the same time to the children, including even the one who is asking her to do everything. So for her to live long, there is an ethics. That is a cultural ethics, traditional ethics in the whole of Africa. It can't be hidden. How do you take care of the elderly? It comes to what Brother Patrick had said. How do we integrate taking care of the elderly in our own home sets, the way the cultures, using our ethics, traditional ethics for the elderly, rather than
throwing
asking
away
them
the old one,
and
then
you get
embracing
an
the new
institution to put them in, and they miss that relationship, because some of them would live longer if they stay with their grandchildren. They also get into their historical setup, land and the house setup. Of course, with age, they can become problematic, psychological. Sometimes they forget easily, and they can cause things here and there. And by them being present in the home, it helps you to be strong, even in managing challenges, because you will have to learn from them how to handle their issues, and you will be a great leader from home up to outside. But if you run away, you take them to foster home, it means you, first of all, fear responsibilities. Number two, you can't manage to cope up with the ethics of our traditions and the customs, and which means you are weak even outside. You can't manage the outside ethics.
Patrick, what do you have to say on as far as office ethics are concerned?
Yeah, it is very important that despite the challenges that we have, and the challenges are all over, everywhere you go, if you go to any country, even the ones that you think are very nice, the people who work have their own challenges. So as well as in South Sudan, of course, we have a lot of challenges. But even in the faces of all those challenges, we need to maintain the ethics, because it is what will keep us tomorrow going. But if we totally, because I don't have money, I don't want to do this until I am bribed, I am in a certain office, for example, a public office, where I'm supposed to serve people, but I'm not going to serve until I'm given money, then the whole thing, we are destroying the whole society, you see. So it is important that we maintain the ethics, and that will really help the society, without which we mess up everything. Yeah, so whatever challenges are there, ethics should be maintained. And as I said previously, sometimes when you do not follow ethics, you will not be punished. But you yourself, you feel that what I have done is not good. And also the people whom you have forced to act unethically will also look at you in a certain way. We normally refer to, like, many cases. You've seen a lot of issues, sometimes on the streets, people are fighting with the police. But you see, all those are really things that should not happen. No one should fight with anybody in uniform. It should never happen. If you want to fight, maybe you fight. Okay, you shouldn't fight. But if there is anything, let it not be somebody who is wearing uniform, because that is, somebody representing the country and should be respected. So all those are things that you sit and you think, what has gone wrong? Why should somebody in their rightful mind start fighting with? But also it goes the other side as well. You who is wearing uniform, how are you also behaving towards the people? Are you seeing? So it is really important that we follow ethics, not only the police, even the lawyers, the judges, all professionals should really follow ethics. That will make life easier. Yeah.
But some people take in a different way, that when once someone gets annoyed, he gets to, I think that those are also ethics, because sometimes people say when it fails, when it fails, our diplomacy fails, then we fight. What do you have to?
No, it's not necessary. It is not necessary.
It's not necessary.
If you find that you are not, your emotions are going very high, you can extract yourself from that area. You can just leave. And then later when you cool down, you come back. It's better than, there are many ways of dealing with situations. Or if you are not understanding yourself, look for another person, a third party who may, resolve the problem, rather than escalating it until it becomes physical, you want to fight and so on. No, there's always, in any group, there's always somebody who is more calm and more cooperative. If you get 3 people, not all of them will react the same way to a situation. So you look for that which does not lead to violence. It is important. That's great. And the same to offices. With your colleague, you don't have to fight or do something. If you have a disagreement, there's always somebody ahead of you whom you can go to.
Justice, what do you have to say?
Yeah, I just have to say this, that ethics under different standards, whether tradition or in the institutional level, or spiritual, also religious ethics. And ethics is a good thing to be observed because it brings harmony in the society, and it makes us do things through the right way. For example, let me take both tradition and even the normal ethics and religious ethics. If you are taken care of an orphan, you brought up an orphan, total orphan. Let me give you an example. It should be an orphan who is a girl, and you paid the school fees and so on, and you integrated her into your family as a daughter. It ethically doesn't come when you come later and make her pregnant. It doesn't come.
Yeah.
Because where will she go? She made sure you are like an elder brother or a father to her, and accepted, embraced you to replace her parents. Now you took care of her, which is good. You paid her school fees, which is good. She graduated. You have no moral standard to come and also make her your wife or pregnate her. No? Morally, you have lost everything. When you have done that, morally, you have lost everything. That good work which you have done for all those years, you have lost it. So people must be critical on that, and also looking at consequences of what you do today, unethical. The consequences is big tomorrow. Some things may be silent, and to you, you do not know it is the effect of the unethical behavior you had exhibited. Let me give you an example. In an office, some people would come and say, instead of saying good morning, you say, hi, good morning. Good morning, not necessarily by hand. You may, if you choose not to greet using your hand, no problem. But to say good morning, what stops your mouth to say to another neighbor with whom you are from different houses? You say, good morning, sister, good morning, brother, good morning, so-and-so, good morning, honorable so-and-so. That is ethical. But sometimes there are people who don't greet, and others may try to advance greetings and say good morning, and someone just keeps quiet. And you do your service according to Blood Charity Connect. I feel I need to serve you in the public office, I will. If I feel I don't like you, just I don't like you, even if I don't know you, it's unethical. Even if you don't know the person, you feel this person is not, something is disturbing you emotionally. It's not your mandate to behave unethical. You serve the person because you are placed in that position to serve that person. So there are a lot of unethical behaviors which are being exhibited, especially by different people. Some of them are modern. For example, eating chewing gum in the office. Tuck, tuck, tuck. I mean, just you imagine you're a sitting judge, you do that. Just you imagine a judge is seated, or you are a defense lawyer, or you are just eating chewing gum, and your clients are in front of you. It doesn't. And with a lot of sound, those are unethical behaviors. In the churches, those who worship, both Christians, Islam, and so on, you come late when the preacher has reached in the middle of preaching, and you come in a very high-heeled shoes so that the sound of these shoes can be heard. You have already obstructed everyone. So what is your intention? In ethics, is what matters is what is determined in an ethical behavior of yours is what is your intention. And the mirror of your intention is the one which is negative.
Great, I think we will continue from there. Let us try to remind the viewers outside, the viewers of Alpha Morning. We are going for a short break. We will be right back as you, wherever you are across the country, looking at actually, we are discussing issues to do with ethics, the wrongs and the rights that are existing in the society. Wherever you are following us, try to be with us. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back from that short break, and I think straight away, Justice, you will kick away right from there, from a discussion as we've been discussing issues to do with ethics, and I think you'll be able to tell us from where you stopped.
Yeah, I was just mentioning there are a lot of series of things which the society may say is unethical. Ethics and ethical behavior is seen in your intention. And then is also seen in your mindset, how you look at others, how you serve others, how you behave towards other people. If it does harm, then it is unethical. What is your mindset? What's your reaction towards the public? And that which the public acknowledges is what is professionally or ethical accepted. However, we also look at sometimes majority of the population. When you look at the majority population accepting something altogether and looking at it ethical, sometimes also it's not. For example, if you have a group of young people and they, like the nigger group, they think all this in their group, this is the right thing. And they don't see that something is wrong. So numbers in accepting the same belief may not matter sometimes so much.
Patrick,
because what is the negative part of it?
Let us try to hear from Patrick on, you see, the human beings are created differently. Looking at those are also, some of these are ethics. When you look at someone hates someone naturally, just like that. Are those called also ethics?
Well, if you are serving people, you should serve people regardless of who they are, not because this is from my tribe, or I just don't like that person. The way that person is, I don't like. That is not for you to to act. You know, you serve people. I have myself, I've been in an office where I wanted to see somebody and I was refused. They said, no. And then the guy finally came down and told me, tell me, what's your name? And so then I said my name. Then it even became more difficult now. So these things do happen. But as Justice said, it does not mean when majority of people accept something, then that thing is ethical. For example, there is something that some people do. Like, let us say, Soro, today you are appointed to a position, a government position, a public office. And 6 months later or a year later, you are removed. And you don't have anything. You don't have a car, you don't have a house, you have not employed your relatives, people will start abusing you. You know, you are not serious. How can you be in this position and you don't even have a mere car? You have not even built a house. You have not even done what? So people are trying to say, like, once you get into a government position, you must do everything possible to get money and build and buy cars and employ your relatives and so on. But is it ethical? Is it proper? You see? So people will abuse you for not because you follow the ethics. But that does not mean that what they're abusing you for is the right thing. You see? So really, you have to stick to the ethics, because I may have a government position, but what if there is no money? What should I do? What if my salary is only this amount of money? It cannot do what the society expects from me. So I still have to follow my ethics, and I should not influence employing my relatives because I'm having a position. If they are genuinely qualified, they should apply as anybody else, and they should get the job. So really, following ethics is important. Sometimes the material things look very nice, but but I said earlier, the material things may never make you happy. You will think that I'll have this, but you will find that you are not happy because your name alone is not okay. So you are not happy. Maybe after leaving that position, nobody wants to associate with you again because of the unethical behaviors that you have really shown. I like a story that has circulated online where they say there was a man who was an accountant. So he took care of his daughter, and people were blaming him. You are working with a big company, you are the one handling money. How come you are not doing anything for yourself? And later this man died. And the daughter also and family members were not happy because he did not leave a lot of resources behind. And they were like, now your father, you had a very good position, he never did anything. Then the daughter went to look for a job when she finished her school. Then they asked her, and she was like, I'm the daughter to, oh, you are the daughter to so-and-so. Okay, we're going to give you this position because of how he worked. Are you seeing? So, as Justice said, some of the effects, we will not see it now, but it will come later.
Exactly.
You see? So, you can imagine if that man had stolen money and succumbed to the pressure of the society to violate the ethics, his daughters and his children would have not gotten anything. So, really, to build a good name is better than to rush and do unethical behaviors.
From there, I think you'll be able to wind up for us and tell us the meaning of this topic to the people of South Sudan, and looking at actually its importance, because now it is a general thing. We have the customary way of ethics, we have a traditional way of ethics, we have very many types of, it's wide. What do you have to say finally?
I say that any society that will really develop well will not only develop because of inheriting or adopting new cultures that are coming and ethics. They have to really, the society has to really look at the good practices of our forefathers. It is what will propel us forward, and that if we do not follow ethics, we are going to create chaos in the society. So we should really follow ethics and not forget our cultures. Not all of them, all the cultural practices are bad. The good ones, we should push them forward.
That's great. Finally, Justice, what do you have to say?
Thank you very much. I have this few to say. One is that if you behave ethically well, you have left a name. And that name, which you have left ethically well, is going to be consumed, and it will be at an advantage of your generation, your children, and other people. And those who have destroyed their names because of unethical behavior, the effect is also going to be on them, on their children, on their generation. And another thing is unethical behavior to a level which I forgot to say. For instance, infrastructure. You are in a government position, government house, you decide to behave unethical. After you have left the position, you develop this land and then leave for your children. That is unethical behavior, and which is going to have a problem for the children, because the government has a long hand. This property one day will be taken away. And that unethical behavior of yours decided to affect your generation because you are leaving them behind. Also, do no harm to others when you're behaving ethically well. And then you also try to respect others despite, regardless of who the people are, provided they're human beings and of all gender, age, whether they have deformation in their bodies or not, and so on. You need to try to respect. And then also respect authority. Someone who is in a leadership, not necessarily government political position, but whatever circles you are in, even a leader in the house, you respect as a family. A leader in the small business you have, a leader in the government institution, a leader in the church, a leader everywhere you are, you need to respect, because that person, by the time is in that position, it is a trust. So ethically, you need to respect them. And then do not also, you need to respect autonomy, and you also need to respect your professional area, especially revealing things which do not want to be revealed for the sake of others, for the sake of others and for the sake of the society. So don't do harm to others and don't do harm to yourself.
Thank you so much. Our viewers of Alpha Morning Show, we have come to the end of this program. Continue watching the rest of the programs on your national television as we say bye for now. Remember, ethics should be followed, as Justice and Patrick Oyet said, which is very important in every society. The wrongs and the right will be corrected. Continue watching the rest of the programs on your national television. We say bye for now. Thank you.